So, hi, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Radiogunk. And what we're doing tonight is the official remastered Pelican brief. Just so you all know, BonJovial took the time and did a remastered version of the sound and the quality and all of that stuff.
I can hear Grace laughing from Hell's Kitchen as we speak.
Exactly.
Dennis, tell everyone about your avatar because they're probably wondering.
All right, so that avatar is that is because John used to always make fun of me because I'm Italian and that we always seem to wash our driveways. So I did a picture of me cleaning my driveway.
Look at that picture
in my bathrobe. With my black socks and my Goomba hat.
Yeah, in some bizarre way, you might think Dennis actually is slightly girthy with like childbearing hips, but he is not. I'm just assuming that's like a chunky robe that he's wearing.
He looks depressed
in the Florida sunshine.
Did you get someone and say, "I need to"?
You know what? Because his wife probably laughed at him. She laughed at him. Paulie,
it's an aberration.
That's Rob. Bon, why don't you play the audience a little bit of what the Pelican brief originally sounded like before you remastered it and made it into a spectacular...
We'll get to that, but we do have one thing that I need to get to, because the start of the year, I popped in on an episode, I think it was the computer episode, and an incident occurred which has caused a lot of trouble, and I popped in for the last hour, and from what I heard review-wise, I really brightened up the show, but there was an incident where the wheel spun and I was brutally insulted by Monique, of all people.
Oh,
and I've got a quick clip of being insulted. John was talking about, yes, we're going there. John was talking about... Jason Ellis, funnily enough, and him talking about how offended he was with Robin, questioning his parenting skills. And John was doing that, and then I got very excited, and then the wheel seemed to land on me for some reason. And a very gross... gross thing was said to me, which when I get done with you,
I'm so scared.
What happened after this.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a little
scared. Tell them to go put another shrimp on the bobby.
Dennis, I'm a little scared. I don't know what's happening.
I've loved, but here's the clip of what happened, just quickly.
About the time Ellis was on, and Robin made parental critiques of Ellis, and he flipped out on her. So this is him commenting on it. It kind of goes into...
I haven't heard this for ages. This is good work, John. This is what I'm talking about. This is the follow-up. John. This is a ferret. He's a ferret.
You're so cute.
Ferrets out the good stuff.
You're so cute. But I love how much you love the guys. Like, I love it. It's kind of like you are like our great... You are like our Marianne from Brooklyn.
I can't believe you said that there. I just said I was enjoying. You said something nice to me for once. Oh, for fuck's sake. Now, that cut deep, and what I'm going to say now is that the listeners need to know what happened after that, is that Monique and I didn't talk through January, and I was insulted that I was put in a position, the most hated person on the Stern Show ever. I was likened to that person. And what happened was I sent a lot of DMs through January to Mon saying, you know what I'm looking for, Monique, is a retraction. That's right. And she did not reply once. I had a bit too much caffeine one day and called Monique, and we had an argument that is epic, and I'm going to play it to you. That's right, we had a furious argument. Look, I'll say that I did say some rather harsh things in this situation, but the reason I'm saying is I was hurt and felt that she didn't care about me anymore. I'm getting a bit emotional.
God, you thin-skinned
here's a clip.
Fuck.
This is we're convicts in Australia, so we do put up with a lot of stuff. But so this is
Dorian Morgan.
We've got a clip of the call.
Dorian Morgan said, "Are Australians Texans with British accents?"
Is that racist?
All right, you listen. You might be a little bit lost, but that's the way Bon works. So let's give him his due.
All came to a head because we had a furious argument, and here's a quick clip of that call.
You know what? Yes, I care about.
Fuck my damn, you care about yourself.
I'm really at a point where I don't care about these things.
You fucking don't care about me. I'm having a hard time fucking yanking up, bitch. Don't you dare hang up on me.
I'm not going to get into it, and fuck you.
Fucking go if you want, but I will give you one more chance.
So this is what really angered me about.
You should just fucking smile and blow me.
Oh, look.
Because I deserve it.
So okay, exactly.
I left my wife because we had no spiritual common ground. You and I have none. Zero. You won't even fucking try.
Who does that? Like, who in their right fucking mind?
You have no fucking soul.
But I have no kids, so I really don't give a fuck.
And instinctively, I feel that.
What is going on here?
You don't care.
Listen,
What?
listen.
What?
I don't
Dishonest cunt!
I don't want to go into like some weird space.
You need a fucking bat in the side of the head. Alright? How about that? You need a fucking doctor. You need a fucking brain transplant. You need a fucking soul.
So there.
You treat me like shit, and you fucking use me. I need someone who fucking treats me like a human being. With kindness. Who understands what gratitude is because I fucking bend over backwards with my balls in a knot to do it all for her. She gives me shit. With a fucking sour look. Who says I'm mean. The fuck is that?
Holy shit.
You fucking cunt. You don't have any fucking friends except me.
Grace and I used to butt heads a lot because, she started getting really, it was very, very acrimonious, like by those end days. And we parted ways. I had bought her a beautiful, gift that year for Christmas, and I never really kind of spoke to her again. I have never seen her once. Never once. Happy for her if she's happy, and whatever happens with her, I have no ill will towards anyone.
Oh my God, the insanity.
It's such distant memory at this point that it doesn't really matter.
She was fucking making eyes at me. She'd have sucked me in 5 seconds. Take that one up with her. She'd have blown me in 5 seconds. She's not your friend.
I have so many more comments about this, but let's get...
You're all angry now. And you just showed me what you are. Absolutely, unequivocally.
Now, she hung up on me, so that's rude because so that was very awkward, and I was a bit harsh though. Yeah,
Slightly awkward.
I said some things that I regret.
So are Aussies also incredibly passive aggressive? Is this like is this
We were defecting. But anyway, we worked it out, and Mon and I we're okay. So here's what we're getting to. So this is I've got a quick clip of Howard talking. The first part, it's 20 seconds long. The first half is the original Summit audio, which sounds fucked. And then it just repeats it with my remastering. So here it is.
Welcome to the Summit Revolution 2013. Where we're going and how we're getting there. All right, welcome to the Summit Revolution 2013. Where we're going and how we're getting there. All right.
Nice.
So there you go. So it's a much needed improvement. So that's it.
All right, so I'm sorry that John isn't here right now, and
Have you texted him?
yes,
He's probably turned the mains power on his house.
He's changing the fuse in his fuse box downstairs in the basement.
He's rewiring the connection to the street.
So exit 136. What's going on here is that we lost John. Mada, you can go away. We don't care. So bye-bye. Thank you for playing.
Well, who do you think that was, Dennis?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I took time away from the Korean students, I guess.
Holy shit! All right, let's do it.
Oh, that was nice and that was deep. I really enjoyed that.
Tell me about it.
Thank you, Radio Gaga. But this podcast is much better produced than Brent Hatley's. By the way, he was live on Twitch yesterday in a Cracker Barrel parking lot.
What was he doing in the parking lot? Please tell us.
What happened? What happened? The storage facility they live in was like closed down for the night. What happened there? Fucking Cracker Barrel.
I might have
me?
to buy another cameo from him just to keep him
what?
liquid.
The next time that happens, because I think I have an idea which Cracker Barrel it is, I'll drive on down there.
So we were just trying to kill time until John came back, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. We are going to start this. Look at all the rips in the, or is that tape from the wire?
It looks like tape to hide the wire.
Looks like a really shitty, like wedding singer is going to come on any moment now.
It honestly looks like a really bad wedding venue. That it's the cheapest place in town. That's why it's like it is, with almost wood paneling in the background and the cheapest red carpeting you can find.
Exactly.
It's just right there. That's truly impressive shit.
Mr. Diabetes holding a plate. John, are you here with us? John?
He's here in spirit. He's here in spirit.
Well, he's there. He's down below there, but no sound.
He's yelling at his microphone right now.
Yeah, so let's take note of the fact that Hein, of course, has food, for his fucking diabetic pie hole to shove into it. Is the hat Benji over here?
Please tell on that in a sec.
Tell me you mentioned Jeff.
Oh, who's this? Who dis?
Oh, Johnny.
Please tell me you mentioned Jeff Shea.
I mentioned it to you. I did a bit earlier. I said John needs Jeff Schick. Big time. In a big way. I mean, really, John.
Big way, Johnny.
And you've been doing all right the last few podcasts. You hadn't really dropped out at all. And now you're making up for that. Yeah.
He has no answer. He has no answer because he can't answer. All right, we're going to move on a little bit.
Let's move on.
Yeah, shall we?
So I do zoom in on these guys on the right hand side in a sec, just because.
By the way, let's just discuss the misogyny. Do you see a single female in this audience?
No.
Hell no. Well, that's a question I wanted to ask Monique. Maybe you could text one of your spies. Was Marcy at this lecture?
I will find out.
If you're also going to ask who was operating the camera, because it must be Greg Carmel, I think, someone like that.
Oh, actually, I know this, and I'm not allowed to say. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Can you tell me later?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Did you do this?
Yeah.
Look at him.
Christ. Look at that.
I'm not sure.
So it's not him operating the camera. We know that.
It's not Brandano.
So you hear high-pitched mic there in the background.
Oh, I thought it was a woman. I was going to say, finally a girl.
See, I zoom in here. I don't know who these guys are. Who's that guy on the right with the black hair? Who's that guy? I don't know.
He looks like he was in Twilight. I have no idea.
Now, here we go. He gets the wave, maybe, that the camera's rolling, so he's ready to go. So here, this is tentatively navigates.
It's like the principal.
Stairs.
I feel like this is high school assembly.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I like that. Like that, Mike. All right. Welcome to the summit, Revolution 2013. Where we're going and how we're getting there. The reason for this.
This is like a really fucked up TED Talk. Like, that's what this is.
Yes.
Yeah,
that nobody ever wants to hear. So, he thinks that he's like such a magic maker and he's so captivating, but all he is going to spew for the next 58 minutes is sheer stupidity and utter ill-conceived notions of what his show should be.
He looks like a homeless Steve Jobs.
Yeah, yes. I know. The fucking PowerPoint is just a killer of this whole thing. It really, really is. I love doing this again because now we're looking at it with different eyes and it's just so much fun. Yes, Linda, worst fucking fitting suit ever. All his clothes are ill-fitting. Nothing fits him. Nothing fits him well. If that company had any kind of leadership structure at all, Howard would have just talked for 2 minutes to kick things off and passed it to a trained presenter. Absolutely correct.
Yeah,
but because of sheer hubris and his well, first off, let's not forget though that Marcy Turk had just been introduced to the fold. So I kind of feel like this was his way. And in the missing second part of this is where they basically talk about Marcy. And that's why we don't see that anywhere, because I'm sure shenanigans were afoot to get that hidden so nobody would ever see it again. And this comes from everybody I have ever heard from, that it is, as good as destroyed. But it does kind of reveal all of the Marcyisms. So that's what we're missing. And that's why I don't think, could pass it over to her, because everybody would have not paid as much attention to it. And in his own mind, the only person that you really need to pay attention to is him.
Is simple. Trying to increase communication, making sure everybody's on the same page, and that I think for the most part, this whole summit came about because, as many people have said to me, Howard, we work hard. We want to get somewhere. We want to do the right thing.
Yeah, we work hard. So let's recall a conversation with Tim Sabian where he asked Howard if, when he got all that shit ton of money from all of his options from Sirius in year one, why don't you just, take $1 million out of that and give it to all of your employees? And it would really go a long way in camaraderie and people feeling like they're appreciated. So are we supposed to believe that people are coming to Howard and saying, what more can we do to make you fucking more money and more wealthy? What can we do? You know what I mean? It's just, it's shocking to me.
He has pure hubris. I mean, honestly, he honestly thinks that everyone that's there, all they give a shit about is making him better. I mean, that's what this entire presentation is, to make him look better. And it is truly amazing that, the timing of this is just so absolutely amazing. Just because he had just lost that lawsuit and, we're coming forward out of that, and this is where he's trying to reinvent himself with Marcy, but it's and trying to make himself more money without giving anything.
I do. Yeah, I agree, and I hate to credit Howard ever, but I think that a lot of this was to get make the show better, not just him, but because he couldn't get there's a big section on how he can't get the guests that he wants, so he's trying to make it better, but and I disagree with you guys saying that it's all crap in this. A lot of it stuff in this was just like, yeah, well, but how come you didn't fucking realize this in 2005, 2006, how didn't you realize that people need to be dressed better? And if you have a guest coming, you don't fucking offer them a bottle of water and nothing else.
You're giving someone with a 79 IQ way too much credit. This is literally how he's trying to star fuck and become a part of, to get rid of his old legacy and to become his new Hollywood friend.
This was all part of that premise.
It's not about getting a better guest, though.
That's
what he wants.
Well, here's the thing. I think. Well, okay, I will agree.
Part of it. Yeah.
I will agree to the point that what he's trying to do is remake himself as he has always said, world's greatest interviewer. So in order to be world's greatest interviewer, you have to get world's greatest guests, right? So you can't keep going to the well like he does now. So obviously that didn't work out. Everything about Marcy was about making it the Howard Stern logo, the Howard Stern brand.
It has everything to do with him controlling his own content and no one else being able to comment on what he says, because only he does that to other people.
Yes.
He will not allow himself to be criticized or critiqued. They have to talk about him in reverence and third person. And I like Tiger Lily pointed out something very funny. It's like they couldn't find the question mark key on the keyboard when they were doing this PowerPoint, because where are we going? Question mark.
Where we are going.
Where we are going.
Where we are going.
I mean, you're right about him possibly being a 79 because
we are picking this through like a goddamn Zapruder film. It's going to be delicious. G. Canada says, "Who gives the smallest silver from the smelliest shit? What any celebrity has to say? Who cares? I listen for comedy, not this trash." Okay, but in his mind, if he's going to be world's greatest interviewer, he in his mind thinks that he needs to get the absolute tippy top cream of the crop in order for it to solidify and cement his self-appointed crown as
I guess that Marcy must have said, "I want you to be the world's greatest interviewer now." We could
Well, no,
attribute
it's the
that
branding.
to her-
It's
as her idea.
just the branding.
Her idea,
The
though.
branding is all Howard all the time. That's all we talk about.
Yeah, but
Howard. That's
She just joined, and she said that's what you're going to be now.
Well-
so his image change could be.
Well, I think he
her
wanted
idea.
to be that, but he just
Yeah.
couldn't implement it.
Well, actually, she had just joined the organization, but she was
Just.
helping with the email for years before this.
No,
I
shit,
don't think it
really?
was years. No,
No,
I
it
don't
was
think it was
years.
years,
It
Dennis.
was-
No, I don't think so. I think that I remember when he mentioned it on air
2011. I thought it was
and,
2011.
and said that because he read the book, he reached out to them to see if they could help him
Good
personally. Yeah, because he basically needed somebody to help him get rid of 10,000 email messages on his fucking AOL account. And so he didn't know how to clear himself of all of that shit. So he needed somebody from GTD to help him with that. And then slowly he started to see the benefit and the usefulness of getting things done, not necessarily Marcy, but of getting things done. Then I think what happened, since she was kind of like, I don't know, like a second in command to,
Take it out for a second.
like the Scientology second in command person, right? So I think
what was her rank? Commodore? I mean,
right. So I think he had her come over a couple of times to help him sort through his shit, and then was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! This is miraculous that this can to happen for me." So let's move on a little bit and let's keep going.
How do we get there? We want to know what you're thinking. So today I will attempt to tell you what I'm thinking. So here's the ground rules for this. Let me make this whole presentation. If you have a question, write it down on your piece of paper.
I love that. Write it down on a piece of paper. This is such an important summit. I think this is the only time he's ever done this, isn't it?
yes.
Well, that we're aware
We
of.
know of. Nobody said any contradictory, and we've asked, and
Yeah.
they've never done this. So we asked and have never heard of another one.
Ground rules, ampersand, no space, guidelines.
Wow.
Or you can't even start that sentence present first. You can't start it like that.
Then questions at
I
finish.
will present
Then
this
questions at
first or
finish.
something like that.
This
Wow.
is so him, you guys. There's no way anybody helped him with it. I
Yeah,
promise
I
you.
agree. It's so bad. Yeah,
Maybe
and there's
Beef
no
has
full
helped them.
stops.
I
Take
mean,
take notes on how you want to contribute.
Yeah,
like,
it's
it's like-
it's really bad.
Wait.
It's like a grade 6.
Yeah.
you don't think the English major helped with this too? Because I mean,
I will
No
give
way.
you tasks during.
I will
Be
give you
prepared.
tasks during.
Boring.
Be
Be
prepared.
prepared.
Enjoy and get
Fuck,
excited
yeah.
for the new vision.
Hey, found an
Wow.
exclamation point there.
Look at this. Look at this.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I
That
got
is-
nothing.
That is really.
And I will answer it at the end of the presentation. Let's not go to our phones. Let's not go to our iPads. This way, everybody's paying attention, really listening to what I have to say.
To me.
And there's no confusion. Notes on how you can contribute. Because what I've attempted to do today is to really spell out what it is we're trying to do in 2013, but more importantly, what's the structure behind it? And after the structure, who's accountable for what and who's going to be doing what? And throughout the presentation,
Fire.
I'm going to ask you to write down some tasks that I'm going to ask you to do.
See, I'm zooming in here.
And so you
It's
have a
very
record of
cinematic.
those. So really enjoy and get excited for the new vision. I think this is something we need. I think we're in need of structure. I think we need some.
So that sentence structure doesn't work either. Enjoy and get excited for the new vision. So if you had to take out get excited, it would say enjoy for the new vision. Like
Right.
the syntax makes no sense at all. Idiot.
Wow.
Sort of new vision for 2013, and it's really important.
Jeez.
All right, this is a picture of my office at home. This is how I prepared for this summit. Literally
Wow.
about a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, I said,
Look how dark that chamber is.
What is it?
It
A
is.
month ago or 2 months ago?
He doesn't
No.
remember.
Which
All
one?
all
It's
I
a
know
long
is
time
that
difference.
all I know is that psychopaths do this type of stuff, like real psycho sociopaths do.
Oh,
these
yeah,
type of, where they
like
put fucking
Manhunter
writing on the
sort of
wall
shit,
and
yeah.
shit. I mean, usually
Right, you almost want it to be like a red string to the
Exactly.
to the victim, and then down.
I mean, honest to God, I mean, it's like CSI New York should be like fucking go into this room. I mean, that is fucking crazy.
I wish BonJovial that you could have zoomed in on this actual
crazy pieces
the
of paper.
notes.
I am zooming in there slowly, but you can't make out shit. It's unfortunate.
I mean, that chamber is decorated like an early, I don't know, funeral home. I mean, that is really,
But I mean,
really
yeah,
dark.
true.
And
You
you
gotta
know
look-
he paid millions for that
Oh,
room.
yeah.
But isn't this the worst organization? Like, wouldn't you just lay pieces of paper on your desk? You know, just a few, and do.
Well,
this?
it just
He's
goes to show
stuck
you
it
how
all on-
computer illiterate he is. So he has to handwrite everything on typing paper, you know, or printing paper, so that he can get his thoughts together. And this is his hard work. This is him working hard. This is actually probably the hardest he has worked in years to come to this.
He almost built a callus on his hand. I mean,
This is the fulmination of a fucking shitty try at a PowerPoint presentation.
RE9 Thane looks like he was playing Wigionary.
All right, I'm moving on.
I am burning up with all kinds of things.
Burning
that
up.
bother
He's
me.
burning up.
It really fucked me up in the head about what we're doing. And so what I did was I took one of these giant Post-it pads that sit on an easel, and I began to write down what I thought needed to be done for the way I do business, the way we run the radio channels, the way we run the television stuff, the way we run the website. And it's actually quite cathartic, and it's really energizing. And I suggest you do it yourself. And this is
Yeah, we're all going to sit there because we make $40,000 a year, get out a fucking scribble pad and write down the things that we think are going to energize you to make $90 million a year.
Do you think you can rely on these people to help you with that? These fucking
And do they give a
morons.
shit? Yeah, but you know what? They've all
fans.
drunk the Kool-Aid, and they all really, you know, how do you stay at a job for 25 years and barely make $100,000? And I don't mean that facetiously. I mean that you're working with the number one, you know, radio program
His
out there.
Staff are morons. You've talked to them about this, haven't you? And they've all said that was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous thing we had to watch. So he wasn't fooling any of them.
Yeah, Texaho says the
doing this.
PowerPoint presentation does support your theory that he's an idiot hack. He didn't bother proofreading. For someone who frequently criticizes other people's intelligence, upbringing, and what university they attended, he can't spell or put together a cohesive, standardized presentation. Probably like did a YouTube video on PowerPoint 101. Because of his hubris and who the fuck he thinks he is, he thinks that this is the best he could do.
So you didn't think he asked like Deborah or
No.
or any other girls? Hey,
I don't think and by the way, P.S. Had he reviewed this with adult retard,
what I
she
do.
probably
When I
would have
go
said it
home,
was
this is-
amazing, and you know that.
Yeah.
She would have said,
I think
"Oh my
she
god,
did review it. I think she.
oh my god, this is amazing. This is, you know, Monsoon said earlier, it looks like he's already rehearsed this because he knows what's going on into the next PowerPoint and what have you." And I absolutely agree with that. You know, he definitely rehearsed this. He
A
probably
lot,
did it in front of the
I'd
fucking
say.
cats. You know,
At Versailles.
At Versailles. Exactly. So basically, this screen down here is what he's looking at for his presentation,
Yeah.
and that's how he's talking to it.
It's how I prepare. This is what I do about this show. I have never rested on my laurels. I've always felt this show was very, very important. And so doing this was sort of the birth of what you're going to see on the screen today. So why are we here? The desired outcome. I want to enhance everything we do. Everything we touch, I think, needs.
So by enhancing everything, that means you do a shadow illustration of the Giza, the pyramids in Giza.
Yes.
With a satellite on top of it.
No. That they used to have gold on top, and it used to radiate. So it's sending out. Yeah.
It's kind
I'm
of like
lost.
an antenna vibe, I guess.
Yes,
He's
it's a
sending
whole-
out a signal, communicate exactly
Yeah,
what I
so,
want, exactly
yeah.
with a capital E on exactly.
These are like graphics from like 1992, right? Like these are like the built-in PowerPoint
Oh,
92
yeah.
graphics.
It's clip art. It's called
Wait,
clip
Clip
this
art.
was-
Yeah. So let's see what the desired outcome is. One, enhance everything we do. Communicate
It's all wrong.
exactly
Wow.
what I want.
I want.
Wait, hold on. Let's read the rest of it. Let's see.
Needs polishing. And what my job here is today.
Communicate exactly what I want and give you the structure. Oh, he spelled it right for the first time.
Yeah,
you need to do it. No periods, no anything.
And he put one,
We
number
do.
1 and 2, not necessary. He should have just put a bullet point because
Exactly.
1 and 2, there's only
one
2
leads to
golden
2.
rules, is there?
One leads to 2. That's
Well,
what-
1 plus 1 is 2. In his mind. See how
And with
easy
a
it
colon
is when
here,
you
like-
think like Howard?
Yeah. Jesus
I
Christ.
put
Oh, here
one
we go.
foot in front of the
is
other
to
one.
communicate exactly what I want and give you the structure that you need to do it. And you know what? I am guilty of this. People come to me and say, Howard, yeah, I kind of get what you want to do. I kind of understand it. That's why I started writing all this stuff on my wall, because maybe I'm not communicating that. And this should be very clear today. So that's the desired outcome of today's meeting. And what
My favorite.
There it is. So
We will change by using. Oh, so there he used a semicolon or colon, as opposed to the other page where he should have used one. But look at those. Look at those figures. Like, what is he doing? Like splicing DNA?
That's
What
it is,
exactly?
splicing DNA.
So
It's a
we will.
molecule. I think that's a caffeine molecule, right?
yeah, they're all those. They are those motivational images. That's what they are. You know,
What, those fucked up balloons in the history of mankind?
all of this stuff is that motivational pictures.
What?
That's what
Did he
these are. It's
Did he
retarded.
just finish blowing this guy? Why is he on his knees with several balloons in his hand? Like, what is going on here?
It's
know,
that
I
special
think
weekend. It's that special weekend down in Disney.
Special-
No, this is
we're going to end up with is clarity. I think this is going to be very clear. We're going to come up with systems so people know where they belong in the organization. We're going to have structure.
How many ballooned up idiots in that audience actually realize that he spelled structure wrong?
No,
Like, how many?
Maybe
3.
2
Okay,
or 3.
okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Every
How can you
project we
miss it?
choose will have a
I know.
definite structure behind it, and there'll be accountability, which I think is probably the most important thing I want to get across today.
Right, because
Let's
the
just
last
pause
thing,
this for a moment.
because of course the one thing that we need to know is that you need to accountability means I can blame you if it fucks up.
yes, this is
Oh wait,
this
he's watching.
is
He's wiping his
something.
nuts.
He reiterates this point through it. You will lose your job if you don't do this. He says that many times. He says, if we can get this right, you've still got a job. And he's actually talking to the news department in this, saying your job is guaranteed, he says in it. But he knew he was firing them then, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
There'll be accountability. If somebody says they're going to do something,
You better fucking do it.
well, we're going to have metrics and we're going to measure it and make sure that they actually do it.
Speaking of the metrics, if everybody remembers,
And measurements, yeah.
and measurements, that was Brent's job. Brent, they always talked when Brent came in that Brent had to go back and do reports. That's Brent was doing. You can't figure out what the hell were they basically figuring out how many people provided bits for that week or how much airtime they were able to fill
Right.
with things
Yeah,
or
that sounds-
a guest.
yeah.
I mean, literally Brent. And it was just the most bizarre comment ever. And it was a couple years ago, like that Brent was doing reports. What the reports can you do for a show that is literally about nothing except this guy's ego? And
What you could do,
yeah.
if I think about it, is you could have Brent.
Yep.
Each episode, he could take, say, the bits that Sal and Richard do, and they could play them to a focus, like a focus group type thing. And they could say, what do you think's entertaining about this prank call? Or what do you think Howard talking about this for 10 minutes? How does this make you feel? That's how you get it. I guess that's how, and you'd play it to like 10 people.
Yeah. You see what
and then
Sketchy
say,
Press
write
wrote?
down, and they could say, that
Exactly.
makes him sound like an asshole.
And that's
to me,"
exactly
or,
what I'm.
Or
that's
that
exactly,
call sounds racist.
Here, see
and
what
I don't
Sketchy
like
Press
that,
said.
and that's
Rumor
it.
has it they tracked what bits made it on air and from who. I am going to also assume that they also tracked Visa, like Twitter and Facebook and all these other places, what the engagement rates are. Like, I could understand that metric being something that they'd want to track and follow. right?
And back then they actually were trying to do stuff on those platforms because
Well, yeah,
Wow.
they didn't have their fake accounts on YouTube saying they love him, so that's another metric they could have read the
Right.
comments.
Our gay sex phone pranks are down 78% this month. Says welfare applicants. Brilliant, love it. All right, let's continue on, shall we? Here we go.
Sure.
So people don't feel alone, that people feel that everyone's doing their job. So here's my vision.
Wait, can we just look
He
at that
passed
fucking...
it too quick.
I know, he really did. Let me get there.
Well, he goes back to it. He fucked up.
Everyone's doing their job.
Oh,
My vision,
this is-
dot.
Yeah, this is aspiring to the heights.
Look what's
Like,
going
it's
on here. Okay,
seeing
right.
the peaks.
Exactly. This is like Mount Everest. This is,
Oh,
and here's a shadow. What is going on here?
Oh, no,
Someone's
no.
frozen
Wait.
in the mountain.
Did he forget
No,
to
no.
remove that?
That's ice. Someone's frozen in there.
oh no,
Yes.
no.
That's a
What?
fossil.
What?
No, those are icebergs, aren't they? Icebergs in our ice flow.
Mountains, yeah.
What does that have to do with the person?
Someone's
what happens?
frozen in there? Oh,
I
is
don't-
that a
and there's
reflection?
and
It's a
that's
reflection
what
of
it is.
him.
It's a reflection of the guy. Even
No
though
way.
It doesn't
It
match.
It doesn't match. He has a hockey stick. He has a hockey stick in
Oh
his
my God.
hand. God damn it!
Oh, so it's Bobby Orr.
I wish I could blow that up. Oh, I
Fucking
can't blow it.
bizarre now. It is a man. It is a prehistoric man frozen.
It's
in
a
an ice.
fossil. Yes,
It's a creature.
Neanderthal, and he's actually
he has a
It's
hockey.
completely-
He
it's
has
not-
a
it's
hockey stick
dark.
in his hand.
It's
He
morbid.
forgot to Photoshop it out. That's what happened. This dick forgot to Photoshop it out. That's exactly
no, but
what
that's
happened.
just clip art. That's
No,
the-
I know, but look what's going on down here. It's a mess. This whole thing's a
Don't-
fucking mess.
We never
He couldn't
caught
have
that before. That is so
overlaid
horrible.
Why
But
do I
let's
just play it? Is that the image fading? Just press play. It's dissolving between. See,
So here's-
we just wasted a lot of time. We just
That was the guy
can
on
we
his
edit
knees
that
with
out?
his
It's the
wife.
first
Was that the
time.
guy giving blowjobs with
Yeah, that was
balloons?
the guy wiping
was
his
just-
mouth.
Now I remember. I wish we could edit that out. That's really embarrassing. We just did
That's
about
really
2
stupid.
minutes
That's a
on a
Here's
design.
my vision.
I love it.
Let's go into the area of guests first. This is it for 2013. This was the vision I had in my
How many days a week was he working in 2013?
4.
Okay, so 2 times a week he wants B-listers, and 1 time a week he wants A-listers, which means
No,
3
he
days a
was-
week he wants guests.
Correct. And he
Oh,
one day of
maybe-
riffing. One day
I
of
think he
riffing.
only. I think he only says 3 days a week at this point.
No,
Well-
he was working. He was working Thursdays at this point. He was working.
All right, somebody
Thursdays.
double check that for us so we can
No,
hear
I
it.
He's
know,
going
I
to say
know.
it. He's
Okay,
gonna
okay.
say it.
I want weekly an A-list celebrity on our show, and 2 times a week I want a B-list celebrity. We're on
There you
3
go.
days a week.
There you
Ah,
go.
see?
3 days a week.
Dennis, Dennis, you literally just got really angry for a second there,
I
thinking
did.
that it was
And
4
you
days
were
a week.
wrong.
I forgot what
And you
year
were
it was.
wrong.
I was
And you
wrong.
were- he
I'm
was
so
wrong.
ashamed. I'm
So,
so ashamed.
I mean, when
Hey,
did he
hey,
go to 3 days? After
Probably
Artie left,
2012.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
He must
I-
have had. That's it. He couldn't do without Artie. He couldn't do a day. He had to
So
get a day
basically,
out.
see again, this goes back to the narrative, world's greatest interviewer. He wants somebody on every single day. That did not work out, as we all know. The show is more boring than it has ever been before. And he went a solid, we used to do a running thread on the forum, how many guests has Howard had this year? And it was this year, not this month or this week. It was this year. And I think we came out with like 48 guests. And that is with duplication in a
Oh, David Spade's gotta
365
come in
day.
3 times a year.
Yeah, it was like 48 guests within the entirety of a
like
year.
3, and there was like 4 retreads last year.
At least, yeah.
The show is, as Gary says, dark. 10, 12 weeks, I don't know. We actually do 112 shows a year. This is a very realistic goal, but how are we going to get there? This is how we do it. Let's remind ourselves.
Yeah, let's remind ourselves of this piece of art that he pulls up here.
That's him,
Okay.
isn't it? He drew
Let's
that.
let's review Howard, Jackie. I
No.
can't imagine that's supposed to be. Oh, that's Jackie, Robin, Jackie, Fred,
Fred,
Gary,
Gary.
and Stuttering John.
Yep.
What? And he hadn't removed Stuttering John from it.
No, this is lazy. This is a piece of clip art he
Lazy.
found online. Because John had figured out where it was from. It was old. I mean, this was
Yes.
like
This is
Like
going
from-
way back. K-Rock
I've
He's
days.
seen
like-
it before. I don't know where.
This
It
K-Rock
looks like
stuff.
something a child drew. Really?
Yeah, it's
Like
it's
15
pre-arty,
or-
obviously. It's it's definitely something that was drawn in like the 80s or like
He's
early
looking at
90s.
80s, early 90s because of the hair, because he had
Yeah.
that weird rock star hair.
And Robin had the dreads, not dreads, like the braids.
Yes.
So yeah, our show is the number one place to be a guest. Our show is the number one place to be a guest.
We need to. We should get an English teacher to grade.
New
this.
marketing.
Oh, sorry. Right, that's right. New marketing created on
our show.
Our show is
the number one. Wow.
I would fail him if I was a
argue,
teacher.
Is anybody going to argue with me that he's a 79 IQ? I mean,
No,
seriously.
no.
I mean, you can't argue that point. This guy's
going
an idiot.
down every year.
Loves who we are. And I don't say this lightly. Our show is the number one place for a guest.
To be a guest.
Think about
Be a
this.
guest.
What is it our show has?
Oh, let's see. Reasons we are number one, everybody. But basically, all he's trying to get to this whole presentation is, why aren't I getting Class A guests? All of this, I think, relates back to Gary and Jason. All of this relates back to, why aren't you booking better guests on this show?
Mainly Gary.
I can't fire a 30-year employee because I want to light a fire under his ass and make him get me more guests. And I don't care what you have to do this.
Well, Gary was already a Buckwall client, so that's kind of a problem. He probably can't fire a Buckwall client.
Why not? He is the only moneymaker for Buckwall. Okay.
Right,
well, let's look at this. Here's the reasons we are number one. 23 million subscribers. Deep into interview. Plug.
What the hell?
Deep into interview. Plug with 2 spaces. Book, movie, CD many times. Reach wealthy audience. Celebs. Dash. Best interview I ever had. Did. Albums go to number one. Books go to bestsellers. This is horribly written. Jesus Christ.
The only one he got right was albums go to number one.
Yes, that's the only one he got right.
And
23 million subscribers, which are both lies. All right, let's hear.
23 million paid subscribers. Who the fuck else has that? We have people who pay to hear a radio show. We had Jewel on today. We go deep into an interview. The woman had an hour. We plugged her new album several times, at least 10 times that I counted. We talked about her life. We had her we did a bit with her. We played a song that I wrote. The audience loved it. I know that I'm judging it.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to pull up this comment that Gunga didn't just made. Does Howard have any stats to back any of these statements? No, he does not.
No, none. Now, I like the funny thing that he said he wrote that song that Jewel did. No, he didn't.
Oh,
from Twitter to email. She was endearing. She got her plugs. She reached paid subscribers, people who actually have money in their pocket.
Is that to say that when we listened to you on radio, we were all like shit poor, even though you forced us to buy these fucking stilettos and you made $56 million off of the sale of stilettos to us? You fuck.
Wow. That's incredible money. He's a genius in these negotiations to make this money. That is unbelievable.
Buckwall's a genius.
Buckwall's a genius. Evil
it's all
genius.
about Buckwall.
But
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he knows to associate with him, so that's a
of
smart
course
thing at least.
He knows. That's the smartest thing he's ever done.
Because has Buckwall been in since the late 90s, sort of thing?
No, and Buckwall is like a father figure to him at this point.
You know that these interviews are very effective. Celebrities tweet, "Gee, best interview I ever had." Fans tweet, they send in emails. "Gee, you know, I didn't like Jewel so much, but I heard her on your show and she was fantastic."
You know what's so funny about that? That's almost similar to people that used to call into Riley Martin's show. Like they would just, it's a goof, Howard. It's a goof.
We've had people like Billy Corgan come in and their album goes into the top 10. We've had books that have gone into the top 10. We're pretty amazing. And now that we're in satellite radio, we're in sort of our own little protected bubble. But what's happening is people are forgetting that this is the best fucking medium for any guest to be booked on, whether they're in the field of books, whether they're in music. But who is communicating this to publicists? If I'm a publicist, I'm not sitting and thinking about the Howard Stern show. I'm thinking about some other fucking show that I see on TV. I'm not in the world of satellite. I don't have satellite in my car. I'm not thinking about satellite. We better start fucking telling publicists and everyone else who we are. All of us, this is all of our job. The theme of today's meeting is, this is everyone who's sitting here job. Not just mine, because you know what? If this show isn't here in 3 years, you don't have a fucking job.
There's the threat stuff.
You cunt.
Wow.
Takes him less than 10 minutes to start just swearing all the time. He winds himself up into fury.
So, thank God you remastered this. I could hear his teeth slipping. I could actually you could actually hear the teeth moving in his mouth, the lips coming out. It is fucking, it's actually, I'm fixated on it now. Because all I hear is that teeth, the dentures just aren't being held in.
It's just so gross.
This kind of blows away that theory that he uses there's a pitch shifter on his voice.
Oh, he does.
I don't think he does. It's a lot of compression, but that's Howard talking, and I haven't fucked with it. I've just cranked it.
I think he had compression on his mic.
No, he's in a high ceilinged room, so he's got a lot of echo, and of course it's
let's take for a second here. Look at that wrinkled. Look at that fucking wrinkled mess of a suit.
It's his classic Barbados look. It's like his,
it's a wrinkled mess.
His coated cotton blazer, cut to fit his gigantic Marfin body, and his pants that he wears every single day.
I mean, it looks just embarrassing.
Those clothes come pre-distressed, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Everything he does.
Would you say they do?
He's all pre-distressed.
We should be blasting it on Twitter. We need to spread the word virally. We had a guy come in.
This is one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
Ugly app guy, a millionaire after our show. From now on, we share about our success. See, this is what it's all leading to. He's like, you guys are not doing the job of what you basically, Howard, have 70 people on staff. You could easily hire 3 people just for social media, just to do that. Why do you need High Pitch Mike to do that? Why do you need Jason to do that? When you could hire 3 people, 2 people, and get this word out. Do you know how many fucking people there are on YouTube and TikTok and all sorts of shit that are just them, and they have millions of fucking subscribers and people love them, and you can't hire 2 social media experts to get your shit out there? Like, how hard is that?
Well, all right. There's just 2 things. First of all, you have to pay them real money because they're experts at social media.
Oh, he has 70 people. What's real money? An 18-year-old that's just out of high school can do social media for you.
But he doesn't see that. He doesn't understand it, so he would never know to go to that person. So, and he won't listen to anybody. So he thinks that these people that are younger than him that actually go on this are smart enough to be able to do this, since he already pays them money and they work 5 days a week and he only works 3 days a week. So they have 2 days a week to do all this extra stuff. That is in his little mind. That is what's going on. Why pay 2 more people? I already have 70 people that work 2 days I'm not here. They can do this then.
It's a shame John isn't here because he loves this. He would be quacking away. He's probably sitting in a pile of the whole house is burnt down. And
listen, this is what John said. Sorry. He said, sorry, I'm trying everything, and it throws you a huge delay whenever I speak. I restarted everything and tested it before we went on. I'm trying Mozilla instead of Chrome.
Who had something called the Ugly app. The dumbest, stupidest idea on the planet.
Don't you remember it? It gave Ronnie the lowest score.
He walked out of our show.
Great.
All right, maybe not a millionaire, but 100,000 air.
100,000 air. Pause that.
Air.
He said, that's not a word. 100. He could have said a man with hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's 100,000.
And he's so proud of himself.
That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard him say.
You know what's so fabulous about that? He says that idiotic statement and he puts his hand on that lectern.
Yeah.
And he wants to look so intelligent because he just made the greatest point ever, and he puts his hand on the lectern.
You could see the people in there, like Doug Goodstein, and then they would have just been shaking their head. And people like Jason Kaplan, they know how to read and write. And Will, they would have just been going, wow. Wouldn't you? I'd turn to Jason if I was there or whoever and go, holy shit. It would have
Well,
been incredible to be
listen
there.
to me.
Time would have stood
Suffice
still.
it to say, they all were just like, what the fuck
Yeah,
are we
that's what
listening?
I'm-
Every one of them.
While we're doing this, can you send a message to ask if Marcy was there to one of your spies?
Yeah, let me do that right now. Well, let me
'Cause
play a
that's
little
great.
bit of that. Can we play
She
some stuff?
must have been there. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right, here we go.
If that isn't the greatest success story in the history of radio, I don't know what is.
He's talking about the
Who the
ugly
fuck
app.
knows about it? Well, the people in this room. Does Madonna's publicist know about it? Probably not. From now on, we share all of our success with the
about
world.
us.
We're going to get the word out in 2013. Billy Corgan's album went into the top 10. He was off the radar until us. You know this. This is fact.
He might be right there. Billy was
Billy
having a lot of
Corgan
trouble,
was
man.
off the
No,
radar. He
was.
came on our show
He wasn't going well.
and he sold albums.
But they
How
released
does
a
every
good album
record
that year.
company in the world not know about this?
That was before he reformed.
Because we're not
the
telling them.
Smashing Pumpkins.
We're
the
not
real
doing our
members.
jobs.
Wait, I'm not reading enough of this. Okay. People begged to get on her show. So I had heard that, he wanted to do a summit with Oprah and Rush Limbaugh. And he wanted them both in the same room, and he wanted to do like just a discussion amongst the three of them, all three of them interviewing each other, just because he considers him, Oprah, and Rush to be the top three people in all of media, and so that's why he wanted to do it. And both of them said no to doing this with him.
They didn't immediately say no. After they stopped, they had to pick themselves off the floor from laughing. Then they said no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oprah has no interest.
People beg to get on her show, Oprah, because they think she sells books.
She does.
They think she sells records.
She
Bullshit.
does.
Yeah.
She does.
Okay, great. In some demos she does, but not in the world of rock and roll. Somebody puts out a rock book, whether it's a rock record.
Rock book.
We're the place to go.
Rock book.
Publicists
Rock
don't
book.
think about us.
Rock
They
book.
don't
Has
care
anyone
about us.
ever
Some do.
noticed that-
Most don't.
Slash just brought out an awesome rock book the other day.
We get the same results from people.
It's
Only
scratching.
we don't have a book club to track it.
Could you just read that sentence there? We
one?
get the end. Okay, end, because he starts the sentence with end.
And
People
we get-
beg to get on her show, and we get the same results for people, only we don't have a book club to track it. Okay, so a book club tracks books.
Yep.
So unless the rock book is what you're promoting on your show, the book club is not going to track it.
Nope.
So, and considering the fact that you and Sarah Silverman are probably the last two books you've had on in like 6 years, there is not going to be anything to track the
I
rock
think it was.
No.
I think
You
it was
just
a thing. Thing from the chat that Matthew McConaughey came in with that book too. That went nowhere.
But that was recent, right? That was
recent. Yeah.
that was
and went
COVID
nowhere.
book. I just want to look at the syntax of what we're looking at right
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Here's the
Until now.
headline. Here's the headline. Right. People beg to get on her show. And we get the same results for people, only we don't have a book club to track it. No, you don't. Okay. Until now.
Huh?
PowerPoint, bullet point. When we track how successful celebs are, we will give her a
Yeah.
run for her money.
But how do you track how successful celebs are when they come on your show? There's no way to check that, to track
that was
that.
Brent's job, I guess.
Yeah, I don't. It's a paradoxical mess. It doesn't make any sense at all.
It literally is a circular argument.
What
that
did the
has-
chicken come first? Or the egg?
And if it was the chicken, how do we track the chicken? We can't without the egg.
Maybe egg.
I mean,
exactly.
He really
Apple
makes no
falls
sense
from
here.
the tree and hits me on the head. That's gravity.
I
or-
How
mean,
do But really, when we track how successful celebs are, we will give her a run for. But you can't, Howard. You can't have Seth. What's his name? That idiot.
Rogen.
Seth,
Seth Rogen. Right.
Seth
I
Rogen.
kind of mix him up with Joe Rogan. Right. So you don't have Seth Rogen come in with that stupid wiener dog cartoon thing that he did that only made $10 million in its opening weekend. But what would it have been had he not been on your show? Like you can't quantify that. You just can't.
I guess he's about to show us with the next slide of
Oh,
when
oh.
we track. This is how we're
Let's
going
see.
to
Let's
track.
see this genius.
That's
Let's
what
see
you
this
would be
genius.
led to believe, that he's about to reveal.
Until
Yes,
now.
Until now.
Now we're going to start tracking our successes, and we're going to
How?
get them
How?
out to the world.
How?
Oh, I know how.
Oh! Oh! Like you just went to the Ramada Inn in Orlando. There we go.
And you found that in the garbage bin.
Yes, there's a pamphlet on the Milky Way.
What a reveal. I didn't know. This is the most stupid thing.
Look at this Milky Way haunted. What else are we reading here? What are these? Like
So, you're pregnant.
have an STD.
Things to do in Howie in the
Oh, you're
Hills. Yeah,
pregnant.
okay.
Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Packets
Wow.
distributed to publicists with this info. Packets.
Oh, and he
Packets
goes on
in
about
2013.
packets.
In 2013. Think of this for a
Packets.
second.
He says packets so many times.
Packets. All right, here we go.
Going to do it. We're here at Sirius. Probably as a radio show, this is the first time in the history of radio, an organization this big. I mean, look at around us. I worked in radio for years. I had maybe one other person working with me. We've got all these people. We also work at Sirius that has an art department, and they have a publicity department, and we're not using them.
Girl, people.
Now we're going to. We're going to have packets distributed to publicists with all of the information I'm giving you. We're going to become packet and marketing crazy in 2013. And we're going to build relationships.
Is that Leno
with
on the
everyone's
right?
management.
Gary
Looks
did
like
that.
Jay Leno.
How can we not?
Look at this.
That really does look like Jay Leno on the right.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ramada. Like, what is going on here? Where does he find these pictures? I bet you I can Google image that. Hold on. I'm going to cut.
Executives shaking hands. I'm sure it'll come up in there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do that while we're playing this. I'm going to see if I can reverse image it. Okay. Here we go.
We're in satellite. It's not the same reach as terrestrial radio. We got to get the word out. We got to shake hands. It's like we're running for office. It's like we're Jehovah's Witnesses. We knock on people's doors and get guests
Look at his
in here.
claws.
Guests are
Wow.
the best bit that we can have.
The guests are the best
An
bit we
hour
can
with a
have.
great guest. And every one of these guests should be on our show. And dare I say, when I fucking hear people say, well, that guy's not going to want to come in here, it's bullshit. From now on, I don't want to hear it. They should be
Wow.
begging us. Every record company should be begging us because
Whoa,
we
whoa,
can
not-
actually still
let me-
sell
Pause it
records.
here, Vic.
Right there. This is fucking hilarious. I mean, this is someone's. Look at half these in 2013. Were all these still record companies?
No.
I mean, really, no. I mean,
Oh, I
literally,
think they
he has record companies that don't
Wait,
exist
but
anymore up there.
Monique, type in list of record labels and look at Google Images. It is the first or second image, that image. Just list of everyone, type it in. It's great.
Decca
It's
record.
right there. He just copied it and pasted it. Decca. I think they all are labels that are still around, though. So we'll
Hold on.
give him a bit of a break there. There it is.
Still, to this day, number one.
It couldn't be lazier if he tried.
No. List of record labels. Type it in. Hit enter. He's so great.
Jesus Christ.
We still sell records.
Record labels need to know that we are responsible for selling millions,
selling
make-
millions of what?
make artists relatable to new audiences. Record labels should work with us. Record labels need to know that companies need to work with us. Record
Yes.
labels should be clamoring for us. What the fuck, guys? Clamoring.
That. Wow.
Record labels need to know what we do. I've got walls of gold records attributing sales of these records to our show.
No.
And today
He
we
does.
made
You've
Jewel
seen the-
current and relatable.
The bowling alley, they're
That's
awesome.
money in the bank for a record company. We made Billy Corgan relatable to our audience. That same audience that pays for radio will pay for music and will pay for concert tickets. We are so valuable. Record companies should work with us. Record labels should be clamoring for us. And we're not doing our job. We're not telling anybody. I'm going to give you a story.
This is great.
This is a letter, an email my wife got from Jenny Hutt. You guys know who Jenny Hutt is? She does. Oh,
Jenny Hutt, the big fat slut. I said that the first time we were on this. Horrible name. Horrible.
Okay. Jenny Hutt does a show here on Sirius, for those of you who don't know. I think she has a team of one person, Jenny Hutt. This letter is not that effective in terms of what's written on it, but what it is, it says, Dear Beth, hi, my name is Jenny Hutt, and here's what I do. I have a show coming up on Sirius. I'd love to have you as a guest. Here's the concept of the show. We're looking to interview you on a treadmill. That's our idea. It's called The Treadmill Show. It's kind of a cute idea.
Adorable.
We're doing this.
Yeah,
here's a sample of questions that we're going to ask you. By the way, Sandra Bernhardt's done the show. We'd love to see you. Well, fuck. I want to hire Jenny Hutt. You know why? Because a team of one is putting together this letter. Are we sending letters to people describing what we're doing on the show? No, we're not. We're not doing jack shit.
Gary.
We make a call. Oh, I don't want to do the show. Okay, goodbye.
Bye, Gary.
What about a letter?
No, wait, stop. So, no, but you're making packets. You don't need a letter. You can just send them the packet.
Oh, he gets to it. As simple as it is, he gets to that. The packet is
in an
going
email
out.
form.
But
Amazing.
look how
Fairway Maiden.
and you save the postage costs. And he really gets down and look at him. Look at his face here. He's realizing how fucked he is.
He's so pissed.
He's going, I can't get out of this hole.
Jesus Christ, this is so horrible. I honestly forgot how. Look at it. Almost looks like his pants are up to his like
They are.
scarf.
Yes, it does.
It's what's his name? Martin Short, where he used to have the fence.
Exactly.
Fucking retarded.
Ridiculous. All right, going on. Everyone pitches in 2013. Rich and Sal write creative publicity pitches because they don't do well. They really probably don't do that much all fucking week.
No.
I see, but this is where the Marcy comes in. You know, you have probably a shit ton of redundancy on this team, and you know what the fuck are they doing? Pretty much when you're not here, they can't possibly need that much time, especially in the digital age, to clip a audio book so that they can make sentences out of what Hillary Clinton says.
Real quick though, I'm sorry, but Dorian Morgan, just look at the comment. Propaganda pamphlets drop from airplanes.
Oh, you're talking Vietnam, not Vietnam. Hiroshima. And they dropped the
Get out. I'm sorry, that's so funny.
Japanese
God.
people running around the streets. Holy shit!
Oh my God! This is- all right. Here.
This part,
So,
this part is the best part.
Rich and Sal write creative publicity pitches. News team writes publicity pitches. HTV makes video pitches. Send to publicist. Edited clips. Billy Joel. Look at the capitalization here.
Capitalized, yeah, yeah.
Billy
Lady Gaga.
Joel, Lady Gaga. Paul McCartney. Tom Cruise. We want you.
We all pitch in. This is all our show. I'm telling you, it's our show.
This is
Richard
so
and
good.
Sal. If you think your only job is to make phony phone calls or to sit in a writing meeting with Fred, it's not. Write a creative pitch. News team. What's better for you guys when a celebrity, you can interview them and you see them on the Howard Stern show? It leads to news. It leads to ideas. And guess what? If the Howard Stern show isn't here in 3 years, the news team doesn't have jobs. And I bet you guys this is the best job you've ever had. Bet you it's a lot of fun. But you've got to help this. You've got to help too.
More threats there.
Howard TV. You guys do great production. Why shouldn't it be that if someone says, hey, let's pitch Tom Cruise, why don't we have a couple of 30-second donuts, the best commercials, to show Tom Cruise who's done our show? Billy Joel, David Bowie. Julia Roberts, Paul McCartney. Where's the fucking commercial that we send to publicists? Don't have one. Lady Gaga.
That's the best bit. He fucking
we can't ignore something like that. We've got to use that. We got to maximize it.
Wow. Number one clip art. We want you. Wow.
Action. Howard TV. Action.
Action.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Madonna, we want you. With a big finger pointing at them, and then some crazy guy pointing. This last year truly exposed that the show is nothing anymore, because you're right. These attention whore actors and actresses would be dying for someone to fucking talk to them, to make them feel important, and they refuse to come on the fucking Howard Stern show. I mean, look,
either that or out of sheer laziness, he just didn't ask.
But,
you know what? Because
Jesus
this was
Christ.
like that big push in 2013, but it was kind of like the roller coaster right at the top of the look who's decided to join us. Hold on, everybody. Hello?
We've got to do something.
Yeah, I'm moving on. I cannot. There's nothing.
An adult training course.
There's nothing I can do. I really should go to. I should go to his house, take his fucking computer, throw it into the ocean, and take him to buy a new one.
He needs to go down to a local community center for like a little
the
class
library,
where they say this is a computer.
The library.
Control Alt Delete, John. Control Alt Delete.
Could you imagine John sitting in the library with a big cup of ice and with the headphones on, using their computers?
I almost guarantee. Wait, you know what?
Oh, the Iceman. The Iceman.
That's a good song. Walk on the ocean.
Johnny
boy.
John.
Flesh becomes water. Wood becomes
No G Canada. This is not a bit.
Now, am I
welcome?
Blade? Do you hear it?
I think we're getting you, but we're not keeping our
sad
fingers
to say
crossed,
yes.
'cause-
I am sad to say yes. Yes, we hear it all. We hear it all.
So we're 5 minutes into the video, John. So no worries.
Am I delayed?
We are.
We're
We are
probably 10 minutes.
16 We are 16 minutes into the video.
I needed you back, John. I was
This is like
saying
computer
it. You know how
beige.
much I love you. So
Computer beige, exactly.
Oh no!
Oh, Jesus Christ!
has John missed Sturkture yet? I don't
Yes,
think we've
Yes, he
gotten
did.
to
He missed Sturkture. He did miss the Sturkture.
John, how are you feeling? Oh God, are you gone, John?
It's the Mountain Dew. It's the Mountain Dew.
Just press play, Mon. We've got to move on. We're losing our minds. It's yeah.
I gotta go.
We gotta move on.
So I propose that part of our marketing strategy, like Jenny Hutt, who sends letters,
The big fat slut.
Howard TV is going to be part of this marketing strategy. And they're going to be making some great pitches.
Oh, great. Let's see. What do you got? What do you got?
Imagine Howard Stern in an Uncle Sam hat. Howard Stern wants you. And then show them the incredible, in 30 seconds, bam, bam.
Now, you want to know why he said that, right?
It's so bad.
There
See?
it is. We want you.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. That is...
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Oh,
That's
John
how his
went.
mind thinks.
That's so sad.
I know. Aren't you sad now?
Of course. I love John.
I know. I'm sorry too. But we're going to move on.
Bam, 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 bam. The clips, this to that. Show them a production piece that tells them a success story like Billy Corgan's and him selling those records. Where is the marketing push? Why are we not all involved? It's bugging the shit out of me, and I don't know why we're not. So we're going to tell publicists everything. We work with you to reach your goals. We give you multiple plugs. No one gives you as many plugs as we do. We sell records. We sell books.
Okay, one thing without a bullet point. Two.
There's a double space there after we.
Right. We give multiple plugs. No one gives as many plugs as us. That's not true, actually, because how many times has somebody come in and said, "Hey, Howard, you didn't talk about the book. Hey, Howard, you didn't talk about the movie. You didn't talk about the song."
Well, I mean, that is an insanely stupid statement because, like any late night show, if you have a book, they show the book before you come out. When you come out, they show the book to you. Then they ask you about the book. Then they ask you about other stuff. Then they show you the book again. Then when you're leaving, they say, "Hey," and then he has his book out. I mean, and that's a 6 minute. That's a 6 minute interview, and they show the stuff like 10 times.
Remember Letterman would open the book to pages and show them to the camera and everything.
We sell product. We sell concerts. This is a major push for 2013. And then we begin to email people and we blast them. And by blast them, I mean every month, our team, our core team, is going to make sure that all the key publicists, all the key management, artists that we can get to are going to be contacted. No one is going to forget that we exist. We're going to be like Moonies.
Wow.
Leverage friends of the court. What do I mean by friends of the court? Whitney Cummings was doing jack shit when we found her. She was in clubs. She was going nowhere fast. Jerry Seinfeld had a show called The Seinfeld Chronicles that was about to go off the air. He used our show.
Okay. Hey, by the way, that was 1989.
Yeah, 89. He was still in K-Rock, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C.
This woman was nowhere when she did our show. Jon Stewart used to come on when The Daily Show started, and he'd be a regular guest. What happened to this guy? I haven't even fucking seen him in years. On our show. Adam Levine owes us, man. When he was coming in and doing the show, nobody was looking for him before The Voice. And David Letterman, I've done his show, I don't know how many times, probably 27 fucking times, and he's only been on our show twice. These guys are friends of the court, which means they're going to get an email. Hey, happy anniversary. It's been 10 years. Today's the day you were on our show 10 years ago. We haven't seen you. We were there for you when you started. We were there for you the whole time. Seinfeld, we helped you with Seinfeld. Whitney, where were you? Whitney Whitney Cummings was just on I don't know, Good Morning America, Today Show. She was on a million shows.
Of course,
she finally has something going on where we'd be interested in her, and she's not doing our show.
Wait.
She does it occasionally.
Yes.
He literally is talking about just spamming people, and then they actually did do something like this with the anniversaries, that they were starting to remember anniversaries of shit happening, and that was a Marcy thing. It's like the most ridiculous shit ever. The other thing is, though, you can't remember Kathy Griffin's name. He does not say.
Yeah, this woman.
This woman.
This woman fucking sucked until we had her on.
She sucked.
She's a fucking idiot.
But we weren't top on her list. Jon Stewart is hotter than a pistol. Why is he not on our show anymore? Let's ask him. Let's invite him to the party.
Who says
What
that?
party?
Ugh.
He skipped right over her.
Set expectations to come in at least 2 times a year.
Yep.
We were once your marketing strategy. Do you really think that like anybody came onto your show as their marketing strategy? Like, seriously, you've never had anybody on from any like Marvel, DC, fucking WandaVision's the hottest show out there. You don't have on anybody from that show. Like, you really don't have an interest in what is the zeitgeist of the fucking world. Like, you are boring because your interests are boring. You are a boring fucking human being.
Where is the list of people who did our show, who we really helped? And why are we not calling on these people to help us in the future? We're talking about the success of the Howard Stern show. Your job, my job, and this isn't being addressed.
Huh?
So how do we get there?
That's the team. because they're all dressed so nicely. Wait, PR team, weekly strategy. Love the spacing. Everything here looks
I like
phenomenal.
the weekly over the white because
Yes.
it kind of disappears. It's
Yes.
very well done.
So he wants promotion so that he can get big guests, so that he can rebrand himself, so that he can be the fucking world's greatest interviewer. It all comes back down to that, and the fact that Gary's not doing his job.
And part 2 that we don't have is like Gary asks, so Howard, do I report to Marcy? Yes.
That's all I
There you
want
go.
in my life. I want that moment.
I'm not going to go into who's going to be on that core team now. I'm still assembling it, but this is going to be done. It's not like maybe we should do this. This is happening. It's happening.
It's happening.
Look at that hand. Look at that flipper. Look at this flipper.
That is
Jeez.
very effeminate. That's very effeminate.
Look at the hip to head ratio versus the hip to leg ratio. He really is as gawky as they possibly can be. He really is. He's like a stork. He's a stork.
Stork. He's not in a pelican. He's a stork.
Yeah, or like an emu. Like I see that Geico commercial.
He's
like
an
an
emu.
All right, let's move
By
on.
March 1st, there'll be a core team that gets put together that regularly strategizes on how we're going to make this part of my vision come true for 2013.
Okay, so strategy. 1, Lana Wachowski. Bullet point 2, must send examples of our work. 3, we reach male homophobic audience. 4, here is a tape we would like you to see of Howard's show. So if you looked at that PowerPoint without anybody speaking to it, you would think that was the most illiterate, incomprehensive thing that you have ever looked at.
There's no cohesive, and there's nothing cohesive at all going on in an entire slide. It's a name, and then examples. Send examples of work to somebody, and then we reach male homophobic audience. So your reach is a male homophobic, and here's a tape. You like to see Howard's show? Okay,
it's the musings of an incoherent, rambling human being.
I watched a tape of Lana Wachowski, who I think I'm saying her name right. She's the director of The Matrix. She was a man. She became a woman. The woman was fascinating. And I said, I think she'd be really good on our show, Lana Wachowski. Nobody's had her. She never does an interview, but she sort of came and did a address to people and was comfortable talking about her transition from being a man to a woman. Thing was riveting. The speech was riveting. It was great. So Gary called her. Her people declined. Guess that's it. Okay, no Lana Wachowski.
Oh yeah,
bullshit.
They got Gary again. Wow.
It doesn't stop there.
Yeah, you're right.
We should let Lana Wachowski and her people know who we are. That when we're talking to a male homophobic audience, we have a lot of homophobia in our audience.
Tell them
Howard is a regular speaker on gay and lesbian and transgender topics.
Yeah, he might speak about it, but he only speaks of it in the most purient, disgusting way.
Exactly.
Like nobody out there would think he's a champion for homophobic causes. Nobody.
And why is there a picture of Ellen and Rosie? That is really the most befuddling thing about this entire slide.
Because they're gay.
Yeah,
but they're not transsexual. Neither one of them are.
But his brain just puts that together as that.
They're actually women. I mean, it's like
he sees them all as in one, I guess.
Because the reality is, he probably can't think of a single transgendered person that he knew of at that moment that he could put into that.
Shaban.
Yeah.
Shaban. Right.
Like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous.
It is. It's horrible.
He has stood up for the gay community. In the case of Ellen DeGeneres, he asked his audience to boycott JCPenney. In the case of Rosie O'Donnell, he stuck up for her when she had a gay cruise and she was attacked for it. We have continually made it our mission to talk to a male homophobic audience and convert them, make them understand that their feelings about gay people are backward. And what better way to move forward and to never mind preaching to the converted, Lana, because that's what you did when you addressed the gay and lesbian community. Preach to the people who really need to hear your message the most. And we can craft a continual campaign to get Lana on the show if that's what we decide to do.
Jesus Christ.
And Lana should be, approached every once in a while. She should get it.
Who the fuck is approaching Alana Wachowski? Think about it.
Yeah.
No, nobody really. I mean,
An email. Hey, guess who we had on today? Guess what we did today? Look how many movie tickets we sold. She's got to be approached in an organized way by this core team. So, who am I talking to?
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, the guys who are considered on the radio show, the tapes team, the news team, Howard TV, and where's Mike Morales? There's Mike.
Let's get Mike Gay in
I
here.
happen to follow Mike on his Facebook page. I don't know how many followers you have on Facebook, Mike, but you know what? You're a guy who's passionate about gay issues. You're passionate about speaking out. And what a wonderful get if you crafted the campaign to get Lana Wachowski on the show. Of course, you couldn't have. You didn't know we were pitching her. But I love your passion about gay issues. And you're someone who should be behind that effort. And you should help us craft that effort because you're very effective on Facebook. Unfortunately, on Facebook, how many followers do you have?
40.
On Facebook, maybe 500 on Twitter.
All right, 500 people. I'm talking about getting Lana Wachowski on a show that has millions of people that can really affect change. You work for the Howard Stern Show. Fuck Facebook. You work for the Howard Stern Show. And Facebook is bullshit. It's 500 people. We can reach millions right now. We can affect change. I want all of us working, not just Mike. I thought of Mike because I follow him on Facebook and I know he's passionate about this. But any passion can be pursued through our show.
Wait, stop for a second. Beanie Mac, did this mean Rashawn should pitch any potential black guest?
Yes, that's exactly what that means. Okay, David Bowie. Time for a sit-down new record came out. HTV makes great video of other artists, a reminder of his appearance on show. Contact Tony Visconti. Send to him. What?
He will
Contact
get them. He will get them to Bowie. He's making a dumbass idea to get Tony to pass it on. He goes on about this shit.
Contact Tony Visconti. Send to him. He will get them to Bowie. Oh,
he mentions this about Eddie Vedder in this too. He wants one of the Dixie Chicks to get Eddie for him. Fuck, it's not going to happen. You know,
play him tape of me as his biggest fan. But Bowie had already been on, right?
No. Bowie was on during a birthday show, but it was a thing for K-Rock. Right. No, it was a thing for K-Rock, and Bowie came out. He sang his "I'm Scared of Americans," and then he just left. There was no interview, no nothing. Bowie came, he sang, and he just fucking left. And it was a K-Rock. It was because the album was coming out, and K-Rock was promoting the album, and they tied it to Howard's birthday, and Bowie didn't give a fuck where he was. He fucking did the song and just left. So Howard is delusional at this point.
New record comes out. Wow. My mind started racing. New record out from David Bowie? Who says more positive things about David Bowie than me? David Bowie, he does an interview, will probably go on Letterman or some bullshit show like that where they don't say a fucking thing about David Bowie. I'm on here regularly talking about what a genius David Bowie is. Does David Bowie know it? No. How does David Bowie find out about it? Well, maybe he'll subscribe to Satellite. I doubt it. There's got to be an organized campaign. David Bowie's coming out with a new record. He did it by surprise. Boom! Our fucking team is on it. He gets the pamphlet that Sirius helped us create.
Of course,
he gets the Howard TV donut right away. He gets it. His publicist gets it. His record company gets it. His management gets it.
We give out pamphlets. He's so out of fucking touch.
Fucking Tony Visconti gets it.
Fucking Tony.
Because Tony Visconti, his producer, is a friend of our show. He's a friend of the court. We've done Tony Visconti on the show many times.
How many times?
We send those materials to Tony Visconti. We don't call up a record company or David Bowie's management and say, would you like to do the show? And then when we get our first no, we give up and say, fuck it, and we never have him on. Play him the tape of me.
Play him that one time.
Play it.
This is what we need to do. We need to have A-list guests once a week. That's how you get them.
That's how you get them.
Neil Young, ongoing project. I don't know. I talk about who's talking about Neil Young on a daily basis. What media figure? I can't think of one. It's me. I'm blowing this guy on the air every single day, practically.
Wow.
Does he know it? Does he get copies of it? He should be bombarded. He shouldn't be able to go anywhere without this information. Now, when we were on terrestrial radio, this kind of thing happened organically. They'd hear about it. Satellite, it's a closed system. Howard TV, closed system. Neil Young shouldn't be able to shit without hearing somebody talking about me. Why didn't Neil choose us? Now, this is me sitting back in that room. Remember that picture of my room and the sheets of paper? I kept writing shit like this down to the point of seething with anger. Angry at myself, angry with this crew, because we're not doing this stuff. Now we're going to do it. He chose Jon Stewart over us. I guarantee you,
Why is it a either or? Jon Stewart films at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You're on at 7 a.m. and only for 3 days.
Why do you have to plug something for Neil Young? I mean, especially even
it's
in
Neil Young.
Stewart hasn't spent a minute talking about Neil Young on the air. John gave him one plug.
At this point, even in 2013, how relevant was Neil Young? I mean, his last hit song had been like 2 decades before this. Correct?
He's not relevant.
He was irrelevant in 2013. I mean, as a music artist, like, you know, a big time music artist. I mean, he was an icon, but he's not trend setting.
I just want to read this screen right now. Why did Neil not choose us?
Wow.
He chose Jon Stewart over us. John didn't give him one plug. He doesn't know what we do. That's why he chose Jon Stewart over us. Look at what a baby he is. We can offer him a live concert, bribe them, offer them, find out what appeals to them. Clearly you don't, because you don't listen. You don't fucking care. You wouldn't even listen to his new music, or else you tell us that you did while you were fucking painting over and over again over the weekend. But that's about it. But you don't care about it. And neither does Neil. Guess what? Neil doesn't care about you. So there's nothing you can say to a fucking Neil Young that would make him choose you over a Jon Stewart. Nothing.
Nothing.
Because you don't push the fucking buttons. You don't push the narrative. You have no fucking zeitgeist. You are a fucking loser.
Ooh, zeitgeist.
Yep.
God, I hate him.
Wow.
Gave him one plug. Same when I watch rock stars go on there. One plug, and he's gone. But Neil Young doesn't have any, management's like, fuck it, Stern's dangerous or whatever. Oh, yeah, they're not even thinking about us. We're not on their radar. We got to be on their radar. He doesn't know what we do. He doesn't know that we can offer him a live concert at one of those things that they did for BonJovial yesterday on Sirius. We can leverage using all of Sirius with a recording artist. We bribe them. We offer them stuff. We find out what appeals to them. We have to become part of their marketing strategy. That's what professional organizations do. We say to them, what do you need? Here's what we think we can offer.
Wow.
And this is very important. Get materials to Natalie Maines. Ask her to get to him. Show Eddie, the lead singer from Soundgarden, on our show. All right, you know what? We're going to leave this on this note, and I want to look at this fresh again next week. So we will continue from the Eddie Vedder lead in here.
Mark the tape. Mark the tape.
Mark the tape.
At the 30-13 minute.
Right. Okay. So wait, hold on. Let's just get it to 28 to be even.
Eddie Vedder's never done my show.
Eddie Vedder's never done my show. So yeah. So
the 28-minute moment.
Yes.
We have side boobage.
Some fur burgerage.
Fur burgerage.
Do you want to show those 2 pictures I just emailed you that John wants us to see? They're 2 screen grabs of the initial Twitter announcement of this video leaking.
Apparently, somebody had put the video on Daily Motion, and Arm called me that morning, left me a message saying, you have to see what I just saw. And then he went online with it to bring back Jackie, who you know is an absolute provocateur of the Stern Show entirety. So he, at HuffPost, at Slate, at New York Post, we should be blasting this out on Twitter. Howard Stern. Okay, or Howard, if you want. And then he put the Daily Motion thing up. Thanks to Arm of Radiogunk for alerting me to this leaked gem. Real Stern flop sweat going on here at Robert A. Bowie. We knock on people's doors and we get guests in here. So this was first thing in the morning, and then it just went crazy. Best tweet to wake up to. And I think Howard Stern, good friends on New York Post, should see this. I mean, we just added everybody.
Johnny's going on.
John.
Very clucky.
Yeah, John was just at his finest. People retweeted it, people quoted it. And next thing you know, somebody recorded it, threw it onto Twitter, and then it just went away. Got deleted. See, Marcy strikes again. And it got deleted the exact same day. So somebody went in, recorded it. Such a gift. Emergency podcast needed. Yeah, this is how it started. And whoever wound up putting it on YouTube, who did not get a copyright strike from doing it, God bless you for saving that video for the rest of us. So everybody, thank you for being with us tonight. We will see you again next week. I promise that we will get John's shit together so that he can actually be part of the show. I'm sorry that he wasn't here for us tonight. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
We love you all.
And we will see you again next week. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any discussion at radiogunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Radiogunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so that you know when we're going to have a new show. Thanks.